Joining us now on the show's special segment here, we have a gentleman by the name of Mr. Charles Potter Sr. He's from Houston, Texas, and he is a gentleman that will be joining us here in the Peekskill area in December 9th, specifically, to tell us something that he's found out about and been working on for about 30 years now. Charles, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you found out?
Yes, well, thank you first for having me. Well, in 1990, I'm a managing general agent for a very large insurance company here in the Houston area. In that particular year, they had a top producers convention in New Orleans, and on the agenda, the first item on the agenda was all managing general agents had to become certified college planners. That workshop and that process literally changed my life. But I found out at the workshop that there was a system, a process that had been around since 1965 that certain people were using, rich people, I mean extremely rich people, had been using to send their kids to college on financial aid. I didn't hear about it till 1990, and here we are in 2015, and we still don't know what's going on. I literally, when I left that workshop, I wasn't interested in insurance anymore. That's how profound it was. The gentleman who started the workshop started off by saying, I will show you how someone living in River Oaks, and River Oaks being one of the richest communities in the Houston area and the country, can get financial aid to send their kids to college easier than someone living in CUNY Homes, which is a federal housing project across the street from Texas Southern University. At first, I'm thinking, that's not possible. How could that be? My oldest daughter had went to Prairie View A&M, and I went to the financial aid office and gave the young lady the student aid report, and she didn't open it up, and she just said, oh, you made too much money to get financial aid. So here I am a year later, and this man is telling me rich people getting financial aid. Well, I sat there and I learned. The more I learned, the more I wanted to know, and he didn't leave anything out. But what I found out was this was not a complicated process. It's just something that had not been taught to the masses. Certain people knew, and people who knew this particular gentleman, at that time he was getting $2,100 per consultation in 1990. But if it meant that your son or daughter ended up going to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, or Duke, and you didn't pay a dime, you had no problem in giving him $2,100. Fast forwarding all the way up to now, I go out to different places and I find individuals really in a state of despair. They're doing everything they can to educate their child, but they don't know what they're doing. And we as parents, myself included, at some point leave all of this up to the schools. But that's not what this process taught. It taught that parents had to be involved. The parent had to know what they were doing. And that's what they did. They taught the parents exactly what to do and when to start doing it. And what was amazing to me, they wanted parents to start their kids in this preparation process in the third grade. The third grade.
Wow.
They were actually doing SAT preparation in the third grade. And then we used to wonder, well, wait a minute, how could they score so high on the SAT? Well, shoot, if you've been practicing since the third grade, you are going to score high. And so I just took it upon myself to disseminate this process and this information to as many people as I humanly possible could do. And that's what we're trying to do now, and that's why I'm coming up there to bring this to you. I will teach you, number one, the answer to the question of why are you going to college. I know you think you already know the answer to that, but you're going to find that there is another answer that's very profound, and this is what these folk are teaching their kids. Like I said, starting in the 3rd grade, you're going to learn what the financial aid formula is. And after you learn the financial aid formula, you're going to find that choice of school is the most important part of the process. When was the last time your child came home and told you someone gave them a course on how to choose a school? I very seldom hear anybody respond to that question. Oh, my son told me that yesterday. No, I've never heard anyone tell me that, because for the most part, it's not done. The most important part of the process is the school you choose. So, when you look at the financial aid formula, which is very simple, and this formula has been around since 1965, cost of attendance minus expected family contribution equals financial need. So when you fill out that so-called application, it's not an application, it's just a form for demonstrating need, but nobody thought to tell you. Cost of attendance is determined by the school you choose, but your child doesn't know how to choose. So you don't know how to choose, you don't know what the financial aid formula is, you definitely don't know what your expected family contribution is, yet you're filling out this form and thinking that I've got this done. I don't make much money, so I know I'm going to get financial aid. Lack of money does not automatically guarantee you financial aid.
Yeah, I think that's a common mistake there, Charles. Yeah, you're saying quite a bit, because speaking from experience on my end, yeah, we do tend to leave a lot of this up to the kids. Once they get in high school, they seem to know more than us as parents, and they go through the process and they just come home and tell us to fill out the financial aid, the FAFSA form, and we go ahead doing it thinking that we're going to get something out of it. But you're saying that that's not the way that we should approach this.
No, first of all, this is not the school's child you're dealing with here. It's not the superintendent's child. It's not the school district's child. It's your child. And you need to prepare yourself just like you prepared yourself to do whatever job you're doing now. You have to prepare yourself to be the best counselor your child ever had. The system is failing because parents are being left out of the curve. Yes, programs after school and everything you hear. Oh, we have this excellent program for these kids, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. They never say we have a program for the parent. Parent doesn't know. Parent doesn't know. But the final analysis is this. The child is going to go back home to that parent. And unfortunately, sometimes the child thinks, I know more than my mom. I know more than my daddy. You don't know what you're talking about, mom. And so now parents let students, adolescents, make adult decisions. So now the counselor is asking the student, what school do you want to go to? And I guess divine intervention just honed in on that child and told them exactly what school was going to meet their needs, both academically as well as financially. I don't think so. So consequently, a serious situation is at hand. You make a wrong decision in school selection now, it can cost your child $100,000 worth of debt that will not get paid and will follow them the rest of their natural life. This is how we create the new indentured servant. How do you get a professional person, college trained, to work for pennies? Put them in a bunch of debt before they even get the first paycheck. When they know that their credit's going to be ruined, they're not going to get their income tax return. All kinds of things happen. Every time they buy something, they have to pay the largest interest rate, at least the highest interest rate. You must learn this system. And I can't wait to get up there and share with you. Matter of fact, this little bit that I've talked about is just a little bit, because it's only step number 3 that I'm concentrating on tonight. but they're actually 12 steps. So there's a whole lot more, and I don't know how much time you got tonight, but I just can't wait to get there to tell you the rest of the story.
Yeah, we're excited too. We can't wait to get you here, and we don't want you to tell them too much. I think you've piqued their interest. They've got to be intrigued. They've got to be curious, and they've got to be really, really listening closely because you've touched on a lot of things here. But I got to ask you, who should be at this workshop? We're doing it on December 9th here in the Peekskill City School District. Location to be determined soon, but who should be here, Charles?
Any parent, responsible adult, whoever's taking an interest in that child, just keep in mind, however, this is not your typical scholarship college event to where you roll up to the school, drop the kid off, send them in there, and then you come back and get them. It's not that kind of party.
That is no specific age group? Is there an age group or grade level?
Starting from the 3rd grade.
Okay.
3rd through the 12th grade. If you have a child in the 3rd grade through the 12th grade, you need to be there. Any responsible adult. It can be the grandparent, auntie, whoever's concerned about that child needs to be present. This is a parental empowerment program. You have to be there.
Wow, I like that. Mr. Potter, well, thank you for taking the time to share with us. We're looking forward to having you here on December 9th and can't wait to get this information out to the people because we need it. We need to empower our people and empower our parents.
I'll be so happy to be there. You don't know, I'm looking forward to this more than Christmas.
All right. Thank you much, brother. See you soon.
All right, then. Thank you, Martin. Bye-bye.